Well, good morning, everybody. Just got home from work. I've got a little bit of time before I have to go to bed to head in and work another 12-hour shift. So I'm a little excited to come out and get into the garden. You know, it's been on my mind here since I've got it planted, kind of excited about it. I'm ready to start seeing things sprouting. I've got more stuff to plant. So that's what we're going to do today. Do a few little projects in the garden. This will probably be a short video since, like I said, I've got to get back to bed for work. And then we'll have a few more videos coming up for the next few days. Some tractor videos, a lot of mowing, taking care of the place. And I went ahead and bought a little bit more lumber. We're going to build a couple more raised beds. And coming up here in the next week or so, we'll start working on the perimeter fence. So not much going on in the garden. It's only been 3 days since I've planted. And I just keep anxiously walking around looking for signs of life. Not much showing yet, however. I see my first okra there starting to pop through. I could see some more bulges there, so there's more trying to come. But like I said, it's only been 3 days. I would imagine by tomorrow we'll be seeing something. And the only other sign of life I'm seeing right now is my first corn popping up. So we're getting there. Actually, there's some more corn coming up over there. So that's great. I'm thinking by tomorrow, like I said, should start seeing stuff popping up everywhere. Usually in that 4 or 5 day range, things come up. So I had a good friend of mine hook me up. Look at this. Look how nice this is. No, nice and professional. He told me this year that he was wanting to grow some peppers from seeds, and he did. He grew quite a few. Wound up bringing me some over, and I really do appreciate that. So that's what I have saved these small 4x4 beds for. So we've got some banana peppers, some green bell peppers to go with the red and yellow that I've already planted. And I don't even know how to pronounce the sweet cubanella. I believe that name's correct. I've heard good things about those peppers. Read online. They seem to have a good mild flavor, which is what I'm looking for. And I've also got several jalapeno peppers. So don't think I can fit all these in these beds. We'll see what we can do. But looking forward to having a variety of peppers here because we love cooking with them. Here is another vegetable that I've been trying to find and did not think I was going to be able to plant this year. I've had to call around to several different places and drive a decent ways to a new feed store just to find these. But I love planting new potatoes. So we're going to plant some of those today, especially since I made a potato box specifically for these. So like I said, just been hard to find. Some of our little local feed stores, I had one of them tell me they ordered like 1,000 or 2,000 pounds of seed potatoes and sold out a month and a half ago, just extremely early. I was talking with the guy at the feed store yesterday, and he said he's sold out of almost all of his seed. All his potatoes are almost gone. He said it's like he's never seen it before. And I think he's correct. I think it has a lot to do with this virus and people seeing that these store shelves cleared out. I think it's got people in a different mindset, thinking of how they can take care of themselves, how can they be a little more self-sufficient and rely on themselves a little more. So there's a lot more people getting into gardening, and I hope they enjoy it. Maybe that's one good thing to come out of this virus. People can kind of get out and experience things like this. So I'm gonna start with this bed. All I'm going to do is just loosen the sole up. It's already extremely loose because I just haven't watered it much because there's nothing in it. So it hasn't packed down well at all. And I'm really looking forward to getting some jalapenos in the ground. So I'm going to start this bed with the jalapenos, see if I have any more room. If not, we'll move over to that other bed and plant the other types of peppers. All right, I got this bed done. I was able to get all the jalapenos and some of those sweet peppers in there. So hopefully that spacing works out. And speaking of spacing, something I wanted to ask y'all. My entire life, for say peppers for example, you see a lot of them recommend 1 foot spacing. So I've always taken that in as every foot apart space a plant. However, I just watched somebody popular online that seems to know a lot about gardening, And apparently I've been thinking all wrong. So how do you think about a 1 foot spacing? Basically what he said is if you have a plant here, you go 6 inches this direction before you plant the other one, 6 inches that direction, 6 inches here. That gives it a 1 foot basically perimeter. I never thought about it that way. So my entire life, I think I've been spacing things twice as far as recommended. Is that how you look at it? 1 foot spacing is 1 foot apart, or 6 inches all the way around for a total of 1 foot? Curious to know what you think. All right, well, in this one, I've got banana peppers and some green bell peppers, so this should work out great. And I've ordered a bunch of tomato cages offline from Amazon, and if you're like me, addicted to Amazon and used to getting something in 2 days, that's just not the case anymore. Now Amazon Prime means a month with all this chaos going on. So hopefully they'll get here a little sooner than that before all these plants get up and start putting peppers on them. So I think I've got 30 or 40 cages on the way. So we'll get to installing those later. Now next up we're going to do the potatoes. And if you watch my other video where I built this, I did this bed specifically for potatoes. That's why I made it nice and deep. It's got real fluffy compost in it. So hopefully it doesn't pack up too tight before the potatoes start producing. Which I've always done new potatoes in kind of a hard packed sandy soil. So this should be much fluffier and work out a whole lot better, I'm hoping, than the traditional in the ground garden that I used to do. And I've always had great luck with new potatoes. So hopefully this compost has the right nutrients for them. All right, I'm no expert on potatoes or gardening in general, but how I've always had really good success in the past is I like to find potatoes with 2 to 3 eyes, and then I'll cut that section off, and that's what I'll plant. And I like to put this cut side down. Now since these eyes are quite large, I'm gonna go ahead and dig my trenches a little deeper to make sure they're covered completely up once I bury these. And I will plant a potato with just 1 eye. They tend to come up okay, but I kind of prefer 2 plus. And that's how I have them. I probably should do 3 a row, but I'm going to try 4. These ones on the end are a bit close to the ends, but we'll see if they'll expand out either direction. And I like to bury mine about 3 inches deep. I've had good luck with them in the past. A lot of people say you don't need to heel potatoes. I tend to. I'll cover these up today. Once the shoots come out after a little while, I'll come out here with that little hand fork and just kind of heel them up again. Do that one more time. I've had good luck that way in the past, doing it in the ground. This is how I'm used to typically getting potatoes earlier in the year. I think these have got a little hot. It's a little late in the season, and that's why they're sprouting out the way they are. That's how I usually plant them. That's enough of eyes that I feel comfortable. Luckily for me, I pulled up an old fence line here, and that's how I wound up with some of these recycled fence posts. And a funny story about that. I sit here and constantly tell you how I have OCD and like things symmetrical. However, if you look at the drone imagery of this place, it looks like my buildings are just laid out crazy and not square with the property. And they're not. And that's because this fence that I took up that runs right there at an odd angle, I'm gonna put it back exactly like that. And when we first bought this property, we squared our first building up to that fence, and then I squared this building to that building, etc. So that's why the layout looks like it does. And that fence I'm gonna be working on pretty soon, because we're hoping to get some animals out there this year. And yes, I know, I can hear you now. Why on earth do I not have a manual post hole driver? I really don't know. Out of all these years, I guess I've always used my father's, and I had every intentions for all this fence that I'm about to install, which is gonna be thousands of posts around the property. I was gonna buy one of the gas-powered T-post drivers, but for little projects like this, I need to go get an old cheap manual driver. But in the meantime, the old sledgehammer is going to have to work. Well, you know how they say hindsight's 20/20? I see something now. Y'all may have caught on to my little mistake, and I've been thinking about it, but it's too late. I planted cucumbers and beans right here. That's why I'm putting this trellis up, or these cattle panels, for them to grow on. However, this is the southeast side of my garden. So this is where the sun's gonna be coming up during the day. So once all these leafy vines get up, it's going to cast shade on a little bit of my garden first thing in the morning, so it's going to block a little bit of sunlight out that the rest of the garden is going to get. I don't think that's going to be detrimental by any means, but the reason I've just zip tied all this up and didn't wire it all together is because I'm going to move this next year, probably to the back corner of the garden. That way it's not shading anything out. Like I said, I don't think it's really going to affect the potatoes and the peppers right here. It's just going to block probably the first hour of sunlight. Then once it gets on up, these things will get plenty of sun for the day. After all, it is Florida, and it's ridiculously hot and sunny here. Tell you what, seeing all these blooms on this Myers lemon and all these lemons coming along, it's just loaded. It's got me in the mood to go get some more fruit trees. Been having a hard time finding them this year. I mean, a really hard time. Want to get another lemon too. This is doing really well. This tree almost completely died. It looked dead. Actually, we had a ice storm 2 years ago come through, and just wiped it out. It went down to just dead branches, but it's come back very well. As you can see, loaded up. Look at all those buds. Love my lemon tree. Excuse me, love my lime tree. Use it all the time. The Myers lemon, it's nice too. Makes great lemonade. All right, y'all, we'll make this one short and sweet. I think this is all the time that I have today for projects. Like I said, when we come back next time, it's supposed to rain tonight, and I'm on a lot of YouTube comment sections. I watch a lot of the same channels that y'all do, so I get to see the weather ahead of time. A lot of y'all from up the north, and there's a cold front moving through right now, or cool front we should call it, and I can see there's a lot of bad weather on the way just by your comments. So this afternoon we're supposed to get a lot of rain. That's why I lightly watered. I don't want to flood nothing out. Don't want to make it too damp. So we'll see how the weather does. Tomorrow, since it's finally going to rain, we haven't had rain in weeks and it's so dusty and dry. I think I'm going to get out here and mow the yard. It needs it bad, and I've got weeds popping up everywhere. So probably the next video will be me doing a little bit of weed eating, running the zero turn, getting the John Deere out. I've got a repair to do to my finish mower, and then we'll run the finish mower. So there'll be a lot of that this summer. A lot of y'all like watching tractor videos. Hopefully you like watching the mowing part of the tractor videos, because I'm going to have a lot of those coming up. Like I said, it's Florida. I mow once a week, so sometimes I'm mowing up to 60 acres a month. After that video, if it's cool enough in the mornings and it looks like it's going to cool off probably 15 degrees, we may split the rest of that firewood. I've got 2 more garden beds I want to build and get planted. Got something new I want to plant. Won't tell you about that yet. Then we got to move into fencing, so lots of projects coming up. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you're staying happy and healthy with this virus running around the country. It's starting to pop up a lot more here in Florida. And I don't mean to say country, it's running around the world. And like I said, I know there's a lot of y'all overseas that watch this, from Canada, Australia, everywhere. Thank y'all so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching. The channel's growing fantastically well. Real happy. It keeps me motivated to keep making these videos. Like I always say, I enjoy so much talking to y'all. The comment section's been great. Thank you for all the positive comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.